In the future, you might find yourself caught up in a good old-fashioned nuclear apocalypse. Are you going to sign up to your local tribe of irradiated cannibals and dedicate your life to marauding and pillaging? Or are you going to do the decent thing and set up a nice farm and quietly, smugly smile to yourself, loving that you learnt about crop rotation back in 2018? That's right. This episode is about something very close to my heart. It's about crop rotation. Here goes. Crop rotation is about splitting your land into 4 equally sized chunks. On those bits of land, you can grow delicious whatever TF you want for 3 years. Aubergine, eggplant, that's the same as aubergine, avocado, lemongrass, ginger root, kale if you're an idiot. After those 3 years of decadence and hedonism, then, like it or not, you have to grow 1 year of legumes. Or is it legumes? Can someone tell me in the comments? I don't know how to say that word. Thankfully, legumes are the most delicious of all the crops. Peas, beans, pulses, peanuts. Peanuts? That's right. Peanuts are not nuts. They're legumes. But why legumes? It's because these crops can do something really special that most other crops can't. They can talk. To get swole, grow, or repair ourselves, all of us need to eat proteins. But to get our proteins, we need to eat other foods that contain proteins. And some of those foods will have had to have eaten other foods to get those proteins, all the way down to plants. But plants sometimes also have to eat other foods to get their proteins. You might think that plants have some special way of making an endless supply of proteins, in the same way that they do with energy by capturing sunlight, but they don't. Plants have to find nitrogen compounds in the soil from previously decayed protein. So where does it all come from? All this protein? This is where legumes come in. Legumes are a very special kind of plant that have somehow made friends with a special kind of bacteria called rhizobia. Maybe because rhizobia can talk as well. Rhizobia live in their root nodules and they fix nitrogen from the air, turning it into chemicals that the plant can then turn into proteins. Interestingly, these rhizobia don't do this unless they're inside a legume. Try it. Try convincing rhizobia to make nitrogen compounds for you. They won't do it. All this means that if you grow legumes, then not only will they provide deliciousness for a year, but also, if you leave the non-delicious parts to decay into the soil, then they'll provide proteins for all of your other plants to grow off for the next 3 years. If you want to stick to the traditional system, it normally goes legumes, and then root vegetables, and then fruits, and then leaf vegetables, and back round again. Always handy to keep a few of these seeds in your pocket in case of an apocalypse happening unexpectedly. Normally nowadays we don't bother with crop rotation because now we have chemical fertilizers that can fill the soil with nitrogen and phosphorus and potassium, things it needs. Because we can chemically control what's in the fertilizers, we can add some serious turbocharge to growing our plants. Many people are opposed to fertilizers, but we literally can't keep feeding the planet without them, especially if people keep eating really protein inefficient sources of food like beef and lamb. That said, we need to get better at developing fertilizers that don't run off the fields into the rivers and lakes when it rains, because that can and does totally destroy those rivers. That's because the fertilizers make all the plants grow super fast, especially the algae. So you get an algal bloom that grows all over the surface and cuts out all of the light, which means all of the plants underneath die. And then the algal bloom starts to die as well. And as it all decays away, all of that bacteria that's eating it up will use up all the oxygen in the water. And so the water will have no oxygen in it at all. And so everything inside it will die. The big question though is this: will there still be fertilizers around after the apocalypse? I think not. So remember to rotate your crops, my friends. Thanks for watching, spread the knowledge, deliciously subscribe for more, and remember, you can follow me on Instagram and Snapchat at Matthew Shribman. If you have a science question about this episode or anything at all, send it my way and I'll try to get it answered for you.